Welcome to Feature Friday. This is the series where we show you some of the coolest features inside of Ecamm Live. I am your community manager, Doc Rock, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. As you know, Ecamm has an epic interview feature that a lot of our users use to conduct interviews with their guests. I want to give you some tips from my experience as a former radio and TV personality who actually has done lots and lots of interviews that I use in order to have great interviews. These tips are tested, tried and true, so I want to make sure that you have these in your arsenal and use them at will so that you too can have fantastic interviews. Now there's 10 of them. They're not in any particular order. I'm going to say they're all important, but use them the way you want to and see if they helps. Now, if they help, let us know. Come back in the comments and tell me if you are using any of these tips. And of course, share some of your own so we can put these together and share them with the community. Let's dive in. It's very important that you prepare for your interviews, but not too much. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy. You want to prepare. You want to do your research. Here's the key. If they have a book, by all means, read the book. Don't be lazy. Read the book. That one itself is a game changer. Check out other interviews that they have done and see if you can pick up any nuggets there. And a killer pro tip in that preparation is find the smaller interviews. If they've been interviewed by other smaller podcasters, say public radio or college radio, they tend to be a little bit more relaxed and they tend to let go. You'll find some good stuff there. One of the greatest compliments you'll ever get from an interview guest is, how did you know that? And that's because you did your prep work and you dug deep. Don't fear the icebreakers because icebreakers work. I know it sounds corny and maybe a little cliche, but trust me, icebreakers do work. If you want some good icebreakers, you can find lists of them out there on the internet or just write a couple of your own, but keep them in your back pocket. Icebreakers are fantastic. Avoid cliche questions. No, really, seriously, avoid cliche questions at all costs. Plain simple, they're just boring. One of the best things you'll ever hear coming from a guest is when you posit a question and they say, wow, no one's ever asked me that. That's what you want to hear. But please, by all means, avoid cliche questions. I know I'm repeating myself because it's that important. Avoid the cliche questions. Don't do it. One of the great ways to get better answers out of your guests is to use a technique that we in the business call mirroring. Mirroring is very simple. It's where you take the last couple of things they said, the last few words or the last phrase, and you turn that into a question and ask it in a very inquisitive sense. So let's say you're talking to this baker and they have a brand new pastisserie and they make the most elegant, fluffy croissants. You find out that they are making these croissants from a technique that they learned in the south of France. You go, wow, croissants from the south of France? And you leave that as a question, they cannot help it. As humans, they will just straight up respond and you'll get better, deeper answers. Think of this as the equivalent of saying, and then what? As human beings, we are really engaged by a good story. Ask questions that allow your guests to tell better stories. Storytelling is key to any form of communication. And if you can ask questions that dig out stories out of your guests, your viewers and your guests will both thank you. Be genuinely curious. I know it's extremely tempting when you ask a question to try to think of a follow-up question or maybe the next question that you're going to ask, but make sure you're listening to what they are saying. It's extremely important. If you want to know how to level up that, become an expert in curiosity. I tend to listen to music I don't like, read articles about things that say maybe I don't understand, or look at videos that aren't for me, because that curiosity will make you a better listener. And curious people are not boring. Boring people are not curious. So if you want to not be boring, be more curious. I'm serious. It's a skill you should absolutely polish. Here's one that kind of goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Listen to the greats and take notes. Listen to as many other interviewers do their interviews. Listen to podcasts, listen to talk shows, listen to Oprah. Listen to some of the people that you like that already provide great interviews and see what they're doing. See if you can pick up techniques from them. I always study people when they're doing interviews. One, I'm back to being genuinely curious. I'm curious, but it's a good way to get good interview techniques. Be an advocate for your audience. Now, this one is key. It's very tempting for you to try to become buddy-buddy with the guests and sort of, like have a private conversation between you and them. But you have to realize that people are listening to you that are trying to get some of their questions answered and some of the information they want to know. If possible, ask questions of your community ahead of time so that you can ask for them to the guests questions that come from your community. Pay attention to your comments and get follow-ups from there. But remember, you are getting these questions to that person, not for yourself, but for your audience. So be an advocate of your audience. Here's a warning you all should heed.
Warning.
Do not ask too many questions backstage. It never fails. You're in that get to know session backstage and you pose a question to your guest and you start to get this epic answer and you're like, man, I wish I had this answer for my show. But when you try to save it and come back to it later, you can never recreate that initial curiosity energy and it is lost forever like Jimmy Hoffa. Do not, I repeat, do not ask too many questions backstage. I saved the best for last. Now, I said in the beginning that these were in no particular order. I'm sorry, I lied. This is the most important one. And if you throw the other 9 out and only did this one tip, this will change your interviews for life. This is the best one, and I'm going to tell you, many professional interviewers screw this one up. When I learned it, it was like a game changer. It was like I got the magic wand and that special power. And here it is. Write this down, lean in, come in closer. Ask the question and shut up. I know, right? It seems so simple. Ask the question and shut up. One of the worst things you can do as an interviewer is pose the question and give example answers. Don't do that. Pose the question, hook it, and leave it. Don't be afraid of dead air. In radio, we call it dead air chicken. It's when you ask a question and you just wait and you want to see how long it takes before they answer, and there's that weird, awkward pause. It goes like this. So, what is your favorite thing about Ecamm Live? Dead air chicken. Let it go. Trust me. Ask the question and shut up. Do not lead the answers. You will get better answers. Trust me. That is probably the hardest one. Again, ask the question and shut up. If you use any or all of these 10 tips, you will have better interviews, I guaranteed. That, my friends, is another Feature Friday. I am your community manager, Doc Rock. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, drop those down in the comment section below. If you have a Feature Friday request, also place that down in the comment section below. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can reach us at marketing@ecamm.com. The YouTube algorithm is about to show you another set of videos that they think that you're going to want to watch. So watch the video that's coming up on screen next.